Hey everybody, I'm Joe Killinger. I'm a real estate investor and entrepreneur, and we put these videos together every week to give you all the tips and insights from my experience over the last several years. So make sure you tune in and subscribe, and thank you. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. Today I've got kind of a different way of investing, I guess.
That's a good way to put it.
I guess so, right? Something that you don't really see out there, you don't really think about investing in. So gas stations, car washes, is something that you might want to take a look at. And for that, I brought in Arian. Arian's with Commercial Brokers International in Los Angeles. Arian, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
So car washes and gas stations.
I guess there's two different approaches to it.
Right.
As an operator,
Yep.
and then as an investment where you just own the real estate.
Right.
I have clients for both types.
Okay.
That being said, most of my clients rather operate because that's where you make the big bucks.
Right.
But as tenants, you also don't have to deal with any of the.
You can buy as a triple net.
Exactly.
Okay.
You don't have to deal. I mean, as a triple net, you don't have to deal with any of the nonsense,
Right.
and you get that nice check at the end of the month.
You just
every
own the
month.
land.
Yep.
Now, what market do you work, first of all?
What areas?
Yeah.
Because it's such a niche market, we within maybe 100-mile radius of West LA.
Okay.
It's pretty large market because not that many assets come on the market for sale.
Right.
That's where you have to bang out the calls. But once you get it, I have 10 people waiting to buy it.
Okay. What I think is I have a lot of first-time investors here that watch this channel and real estate agents. So what I think they probably want to know is how do you value the gas station?
Okay, so first thing I do is you have to get the numbers, of course.
Right.
That being said, how many gallons it's pumping per month,
Mm-hmm.
if it has a car wash, how many washes it's doing per month, the margin on both the washes and the gallons,
Okay.
and lastly the C-store, depending on size and margin. Everything is based off the margins.
Okay, so if I've got, so the margin, I guess it probably depends on where you're at, right? So if you're looking in Palmdale, your margins are going to be completely different than in
Beverly Hills, for
Beverly
example.
Hills.
Sure.
Yeah, going to be a lot.
But let me tell you, it's such a specific thing that it's not like in Palmdale rents are X amount of dollars because income is X amount of dollars.
Right.
Margin in Palmdale could be $1. Margin in West LA could be 30 cents.
Okay.
It all comes down to competition and brand.
Okay. Now, that's a good thing to talk about. So the gas stations that are branded, is there a value, or they're owner operated, is there a value differential there?
You can franchise a gas station.
Right.
So that being said, as a operator, you can operate any brand.
Right.
So I mean, the most popular brand, for whatever reason it may be, is Chevron.
Right.
Within a 100-mile radius of where I'm working,
Mhm.
it's the most respected brand.
Okay.
And what's interesting is with gas, most people don't really look at the price. You
Right.
go to the same spot more than likely, or the same brand.
Convenience.
There's a lot of, exactly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of brand loyalty when it comes to this business.
Well, now, that is something that I actually didn't really think about. Is there a value difference between certain brands? So Chevron to Exxon, is there a value difference, or is it just all about the numbers?
Well, I'll tell you this. What do you mean by? Can you elaborate?
Yeah. So if I've got does having a gas station branded by Chevron, is it bring more value than an Exxon or something like that?
So I'll tell you this: very rarely you see Chevrons for sale. So
Right.
that let alone answer your question.
Yeah.
But most people are looking to buy Chevrons. But then
Okay.
there's one more thing to look at: rebranding.
Yeah.
So after you've asked all these questions, even if it's pumping no gas, no sales, nothing, then the follow-up question is, but location is fine. Follow-up question is, how long do you have in your contract with whatever the oil company is, Chevron,
Right.
Shell, Mobil.
Mhm.
You know, these oil companies are paying big bucks to rebrand, you know, up to $1 million.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'd be smart to go out and find a place that hasn't been branded yet and
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
go in, buy it, and then brand it. And then turn around and flip it? Or do you just tend to operate it?
Depends on your game plan.
What your
You know,
your own
I
shit?
have clients that will go into a site that's pumping, for example, 25,000 gallons a month,
Mhm.
which is nothing.
Right.
I've seen sites pump 25,000 gallons in 3 days.
Oh,
You know, but 25,000 gallons a month, get in there, rehab it, make it nice and clean, brand it,
mhm.
work at almost a zero margin, pump it up to 250, 300,000 gallons a month, flip it right over.
Okay. Now, let's talk, you know, you always hear that story about the contamination. How often do you run into that? Or has most of that with the gas stations been eliminated already, or do you still run into that occasionally?
You run into that day in and day out. The
You do.
beauty of it is it gets indemnified by the big oil companies.
So if it was branded as Chevron, they take care of it.
Exactly.
But if you're a private individual gas station,
So-
you're going to take care of it. Probably.
Probably, but then there's a state fund, there's other ways to go about it.
Okay.
You're not necessarily, you know, hooked to
Okay.
pay for it. I'll make an example for you. I transacted a gas station in San Pedro,
Mhm.
and there was contamination on it.
Okay.
And we got the contamination indemnified by the oil company. It's about a $5 million deal, a $5 million contamination cleanup.
Okay.
The deal itself was like a $2.5 million deal.
Okay.
$5 million that the oil company's paying
Mhm.
for the next, who knows, maybe another 5-10 years of cleanup.
Okay.
These big companies, the cleanup companies, station their equipment in a corner,
Okay.
and I mean it's pretty heavy duty industrial
Sure.
equipment, but they come and check up on it daily, weekly, monthly, whatever the procedure may be.
Okay. Yeah, because I know years ago that used to be the big thing is nobody wanted to touch gas stations because of the contamination. So I
Sure.
guess they've refined all that. Well, that's interesting because I know a lot of people probably don't think about gas stations as a way to invest. And I just, after talking with Arian, I was thinking, wow, this is something that maybe you guys want to take a look at. Car washes. Let's touch on that a little bit. How do you find those, first of all? I never really see them on the market. Is that something you guys all
It's one of those
run in
things.
the
It's a
circle?
very small community. You have to keep calling the same guy
Right.
until
He gives in.
something happens and he gives in. Yeah, and the new thing with car washes is taking those old school hand washes with
Right.
5-10 people running around,
Right.
revamping it, redoing the equipment,
Mhm.
and making it a full express wash. You can operate an express wash with maybe 1, max 2 people.
Okay.
Very minimal overhead.
Okay. There's all the equipment updates.
Yeah, all the equipment literally is just a drive-through.
Okay. So is it? But it's. What about the ones that are the coin operated? Do you ever see those around Los Angeles?
The
Coin operated. They shoot the
Yeah.
water. They.
The coin operated ones, honestly,
I swear to
I've
God,
never.
never put wax on your car. Though.
Oh, the one that you have to wash yourself.
Yeah, yeah. You shoot it. You know, you scrub it. You know, there's soap and water, soap and water, and then wax. I find it hard to believe.
I've
there's
honestly
wax.
only seen one in West Hollywood,
Okay.
and actually I've seen another one in Signal Hill also. But funny thing is, I've never seen anyone in there,
Right.
so I don't know on it.
Yeah.
That is a tough question.
Yeah, I don't really ever see those come available. I just feel that there's probably a lot of you guys circling that know where they're all at and are already calling. So.
Those,
Yeah.
those I honestly don't know much about. But I'll tell you this: with gas stations and car washes, the reason why you never see it
Yeah.
is because it never needs to hit CoStar, LoopNet, AIR, none of that stuff. It's normally traded off market.
Okay, so now you've got to call Arian and get hold of him and find out what's available. Because I don't really even see the gas stations that
And
often.
if you do see it on the market,
Yeah, it's been shopped.
it's been shopped, it's probably not worth your time.
Right, so,
Or whoever the broker is on it
yeah,
doesn't know what they have and they're selling it as a development site
okay,
and really doing this themselves and the owner a disservice.
okay. All right, well, Arian, thank you for coming in today.
Appreciate it.
If you want to get in touch with Arian, we'll put his contact information at the bottom of the video. And as always, tune in next week and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you.